it's Jennifer from Flux. I have here for our Yarn 101 a beautiful box from KPC Hand Knit Yarns, and we're going to go through this box together. There's so much stuff packed in here. So let's take this lid off. And inside it looks like a lovely present. The folks at KPC, which stands for Knit Purl Crochet, sent me this lovely box, and inside is a sampling of their yarn, and we're going to go through and look at some of this. The KPC company is based out of Hong Kong, and they have lots of different lines of yarn. One called Glencoe, Cashmere, Novo Merino, Gossip, and as you can see, they come in all different weights. There's some finer yarn, some thicker yarn, and we're going to look at each one of these. Okay, so there's 4 lines of yarn that we're going to be exploring today. This one is called Gossip. Gossip comes in 3 different yarn weights. This is the 4-ply, the finest. Then we have the DK and the chunky. Now this one comes in 60 colors, this one comes in 60 colors, and this one comes in 40 colors. So here I have a little sample size of the yarn ball and then a swatch. Now these, like I just said, are a sample size. You can get the full size balls of yarn on the KPC website, and that's www.kpcyarn.com. So you can see that it has, even in this little swatch here, it has a lovely drape. It's soft. It almost has kind of a satiny feel, which is really nice in a cotton yarn. Sometimes cotton can be a little bit rough and sometimes sort of pilly. So we have the Gossip is spun from 100% organic cotton. They put a little tag here. It is certified by the Global Organic Textile Standard and meets the ecological guidelines for dyes and the dyeing process. And according to the little booklet I have here, this ensures that the yarn is environmentally friendly as possible. So that's really nice to know. Now, for the 4-ply up here, they recommend a US 3 or a 3.25 millimeter knitting needle. For the DK weight, they recommend a US 6 or a 4 millimeter needle. And for the chunky, they recommend a 10.5 or 6.5 millimeter knitting needle. Now, if you're a crocheter, kind of starting at those guidelines will help. So for this one, they recommend the 6.5 millimeter. Try a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, and maybe go up a hook size and go down a hook size just to kind of get a feel for how the fabric looks and how you want it to look and how tight the stitches are or loose. So these are all done in knit stitches. So that is the Gossip yarn. Okay, so the next line we'll be exploring is called Novo Merino. This is an ultra-fine merino wool. It's very smooth and soft. If you've ever worn merino wool, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it is really nice for things that you wear that are up close to you. So something like a cowl or a scarf is going to be incredibly soft against, your skin. This yarn comes from a town, Gostwick, Australia, where they've been making this wool since 1834. So that's kind of neat to know when your yarn has kind of a little story and a history behind it. And I also noticed in the little booklet that they gave me that this is the first time fiber of this length and quality has been used for a hand knit yarn. So it makes it really nice, a nice strand to work with and to wear. So the Novo Merino comes in 4 different weights. We have up here the 4-ply, we have the DK weight, we have the Aran weight, and we have the chunky. Now the 4-ply, and I'm just going to grab that because it's way up here at the top. The 4-ply is our finest, and they recommend for the knitters a US 3 or a 3.25 millimeter knitting needle. This also comes in 60 colors as well. So for a crocheter, just find an equivalent millimeter hook and kind of start from there. The next weight that we'll be looking at is the DK weight. And that one is still pretty fine, but a little bit thicker than the 4-ply. This also comes in 60 colors. You can see the swatch here. And has a nice elasticity, very soft and smooth. They recommend a US 6 or a 4 millimeter needle for that. And again, try a similar crochet hook size for that as well. For the Aran weight, this is the little swatch for that. And this one comes in 32 colors, and they recommend a US 8 needle or 5 millimeter needle for that as well. This yarn here, this is the chunky Novo Merino, and this was the first one that I came across so far in this video that has a little bit of a heathered look. It sort of has a like a rust and a gold twist, and it gives it a really pretty dimensional heather. And as some of you may know, I am a huge fan of chunky yarns. I really like this one. And they recommend a US 10.5 or 6.5 millimeter knitting needle. So that is the Novo Merino. The next group of yarns from KPC are the Glencoe yarns. So these come in 3 different weights, and this is a wool and cotton blend. So it's 70% merino and 30% cotton. So it definitely has the feel of cotton, but they also say that it has the stretch and durability of wool. So it is just a really soft, really nice feeling yarn. Very soft, beautiful colors. Now the 4-ply is again our finest, and this comes in 60 colors. You can see that that's pretty fine, and here's the little swatch for that as well. It has a nice feel to it. They recommend a US 3 knitting needle or 3.25 millimeter knitting needle, and this one comes in 60 colors. We also have the DK weight, and this one comes in 60 colors as well. They recommend the US 6 knitting needle for that. And finally, the chunky comes in 20 colors, and they recommend a US 10.5 knitting needle for that one. Okay, so last but certainly not least is the Cashmere line, and I was especially excited to share these with you because I love cashmere, as many of us do. You know, when you buy or shop in the stores, the cashmere sweaters are always really pricey. So this is a really beautiful yarn. It has a lovely feel. It comes in 3 weights for this one: lace, 4-ply, and DK. The lace comes in 30 colors, the 4-ply comes in 40 colors, and the DK comes in 40 colors. Now, it was really interesting when I read in the little booklet of how this is sourced and how it's made. So this cashmere originates in the mountainous plateaus of Mongolia, where tribesmen still hunt hundreds of cashmere goats. So I had a really fun time reading about all this yarn as a side note. Cashmere, this particular cashmere uses the soft, downy undercoat of these goats that these tribesmen are herding to create a beautifully soft and versatile yarn, according to the booklet. So that's really neat, that it comes from just a certain part of the goat, and it also comes from a special region of the world as well. So for the lace weight yarn, and you can see, I mean, can you just imagine having a beautiful shawl made of this cashmere? Wouldn't that be just lovely? They recommend a US 2 knitting needle. As you can see, it's very, very fine. And for the 4-ply yarn, they recommend a US 3 knitting needle. And for the DK weight, they recommend a US 6 knitting needle. Okay, so I brought all the yarn we just looked at all back together, and I just have to say this yarn is very beautiful, extremely luxurious. It actually, if you can believe it, when I opened the box, it was actually scented, like it had like a rose kind of lavender scent. It just feels very high-end and luxurious and very special the way it was arrived to me. And I wanted to also mention that this company, the yarn aspect of this company was launched in 2014, but prior to that, they're part of a larger company that has been supplying yarn to the luxury garment manufacturers all over the world for over 70 years. So the, I guess, parent company, you could say, has been around for a very long time, but now they're offering their luxurious yarns to all of us who like to knit and crochet. So I hope you learned a little bit about this company. Prior to exploring this box of yarn that was sent to me, I was unfamiliar with it. So I had a lot of fun looking through everything and reading all the stories. And I hope this gave you a little bit more information about this yarn. And again, the website is www.kpcyarn.com. If you have any questions or want to inquire about something, you can also email them at info@kpcyarn.com. So definitely check out their website, and they have lots of colors. You can look at all the colors on the site. You can look at all the lines and learn a little bit more as well. Maybe see some of the background information as well. So that's it. That is KPC Hand Knit Yarns. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.